I was watching some of the new YouTube channels that I've checked out recently, and there's a channel called My Next Project. And on that channel, I watched one of his videos about his road trip, and he was showing us what he brings for tools on his road trip. And at the beginning, he said, "What tools do you bring on your road trip?" So I thought I would make a video to show you what I bring on a road trip and how it can vary by the length of the road trip and the type of vehicle. I'm not going to go through every single tool on this table. I'll do a nice once over so you guys can see, but what I think I'm going to do is pick my top 10 tools, if I had no choice, the top 10 tools that I would bring with me. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, My Next Project, I suggest you go check it out. And let's see your road trip toolboxes. Let's see what you guys bring with you. This isn't exactly everything I would bring with me on every trip. I don't have my bottle jack and my jack stand. That's something that I bring when I go on a road trip in my bus, just because the bus is so heavy. I don't trust any factory jack that you could find for a bus like that. So that's not here, and there's some other things that aren't here. If you guys want to see what I call my oh no bag, let's say this video gets 50 thumbs up, I'll show you my oh no bag. It includes my first aid kit, toilet paper, things like that, that I'm going to grab if I'm going to go, say, for like a few mile hike. It's just something I bring with me, especially with my kids. So let's get into the tools. I'm going to give you the once over, the slow once over of everything I bring. And then I'm going to pick the top 10 things that if I could only bring 10 things, I would bring with me. So for starters, I don't know how many. It says it's a 185 piece Huskey toolkit. And when I was younger, I used to laugh at these kits, and I thought they were a joke. And then I worked on a farm, and they had a kit like this that was made by Snap-on, and they had 2 of them. I think by the end they had 3 or 4. But it was kind of a kit like this, and at face value, it looked like a Mickey Mouse Club kit. But then once you got into it, I realized it was an actual full set of Snap-on tools that you could actually take out to the field with you, have the good tools. Now I have Huskey, I'm not a farmer, and Snap-on tools are out of my price range. The only thing I've really added to this kit is I did add a 1/2-inch extension. I use this because for my bus, for the lug nuts, and there's a lot of things like on a semi. When I take my semi, I take these when I'm going to go out in my semi. All of this fits in here, goes in the side box. When I take my bus, it all fits under a seat in the bus, and I make sure tie everything down with straps to make sure it doesn't come loose. So the only thing I added to this kit here was a 1/2-inch extension, and believe it or not, I've had this kit for like 5 years, and I have every 10mm and 7/16 in this set. The only sockets I'm missing is like a little 5/16 here, and I think like a 4mm or something, and maybe another 8mm or something like that. That's the only 3 sockets I've lost, and I've used almost everything in this. It's broken right here. I ran some electrical tape. I think one of these sockets might be down in this front cover, but it's not so far gone that I can't still use it. And if I was starting to miss like a 25% of the tools in this kit, I'd probably rob the ratchets and the extensions and throw the rest or give it away. But anyways, so the top 10 things I would definitely bring with me. I'm gonna count this kit as 1. So here's 1. It does have kind of a Mickey Mouse screwdriver set. Now I didn't pre-think any of this. I'm thinking off of the top of my head. So maybe I'm not going to grab the things you would grab, and maybe I'm not grabbing the things that I would grab if I was in the mindset of, hey, I'm about to drive 4,000 miles with a 7 and 9-year-old. So this is just first glance the things that I would definitely bring. 1 would be this kit. 2 would definitely be a big vice grip. 3 would probably be a slip joint plier. 4, I would definitely bring, this is a Craftsman. Other companies make them now, but it's like a razor blade. They work really good at cutting hoses, but you can also use this for cutting wires and everything else. And if you slide this back, it's actually, you know, you have the razor blade sticking out there, and you can use it to really do some controlled cuts. So I would definitely bring that. I use this like every time I do a project on a vehicle, almost every time. This is my main tool for cutting zip ties. The only thing I don't have in this kit right now that I've taken out is my side cutters. I don't know where they went, but there would normally be side cutters in here. So let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely bring 1/2-inch breaker bar. You know, there's a lot of, especially on bigger vehicles, there's a lot of old rusty bolts. And sometimes you're doing these roadside repairs in your flip-flops and shorts. I don't want to sit there and mess around with whatever that is. So I definitely would bring that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I definitely would bring a hammer. I like this little shorty here by Estwing. I've had it for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. I worked with a diesel mechanic, licensed one, and he carried one of these, and I really liked it. So I started carrying one of those. 6. See, I got 4 more I can choose. I would definitely bring zip ties. The more zip ties and the bigger variety, the better. If you can get some thicker ones, definitely bring zip ties with you. That's what, 7. I can only bring 3 more items. I got the flashlight here, but I don't. I would have one of those in my Ono bag also. So I think I would definitely bring a good set of Allen wrenches. When you're picking out Allen wrenches, you want to make sure that the set comes with a 7mm. A lot of sets used to skip 7mm. There's a lot of Chrysler products, especially like the brake calipers on a minivan, that use a 7mm. So you have to make sure you get the set with 7mm. It's either 7 or 9, I can't remember. But this set by Huskey, I've had it for 6 or 7 years, and there's some projects you're not going to get done without this. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can only pick 2 more. Now I always carry that vice grip with me, so I have that. I think I would definitely, and I know that I'm going to probably get some hate mail and comments for this, but you know what? If you get a hole in your tire, and you're up on a pass, you're miles from a town, and it's so bad that it continues to leak out, that you can't get back to safety, I would use this. I would rather plug a tire that I have on the vehicle while it still has air in it than run a donut. That's my personal opinion. If a tire shop ever says we can't patch your tire because you plugged it, that's nonsense. They're lying to you. Tell them to either quit lying to you and fix the tire. You're going to go somewhere else. I've fixed many tires that have the plug. You just pull that plug out. You can either cut the plug off and then buff it down and patch it, or you can they can just pull the plug and then patch that. So that's 9. So here we go. One more item that I can bring with me. I haven't done anything with wiring yet. I'm not gonna lie. It's a toss-up between the impact driver and some spare wire or some silicone. I'm not gonna lie. I can't decide on the 9th item. All of these items are really important to have, especially when you're going on longer road trips. Something I have over here that I'll show you. When I'm going in my semi, and go out in the truck, I always take a side cutter like this with a grinding and a cutting disc. I always have that in the sleeper box. I would always bring an extension cord. I'd always bring an extension cord and make sure I have the 30 amp plug. You can go to a campground a lot of times, and all you gotta do is rent a spot, and now you got all the electricity you need. And some truck stops will have plug-ins, and as long as you have an extension cord, and you explain, hey, I'm having a problem, most people are pretty giving. Another thing I bring in my truck all the time, when I'm going over the road, or when I was going over the road, is an air hose that hooked up to the glad hand. you know, if you have going on a road trip, it wouldn't hurt to have like maybe a 15-footer in your car, because if you need air or something and you have a tire going flat, you see a truck pulled off on an on-ramp, sleeping or stopped there, if you ask them nicely, I think it'd be harder to find a driver not willing to help you than it would be willing to help you to hook onto their glad hand and get a little air. It probably would make their day. I can't say for sure. I know if a car came up to me with an air hose and said, "Can I have some air off your glad hand?" I definitely would help them. Finally, when I'm going in my bus, we're going on a road trip in the bus, I always bring a Sawzall. I bring a Sawzall with a metal and a wood blade. I've used it for so many things. I mean, I had like a tailpipe section that was falling off in the back and just dangling away. I used that to cut that off. I've had like where I need to fix something with a 2x4, and I can rip this with a 2x4 really quick. And again, you have your extension cord to run off of. I do think I found 10 and 11. The other two items that I would definitely want to bring with me. I'm going to go up to 11. I'm going to classify these together just because historically they've kind of gone together. Duct tape and baling wire. Those are going with me. I think with this right here, I could fix almost everything that I need. Now obviously the screwdrivers aren't the best, and there's a million different arguments for all of these items. But I really feel like with this setup here, you could do a lot of damage, and it wouldn't weigh nearly as much as all this. So you can see these tools are beaten and battered, and the paint's rubbed off of them. They're rusty. They get beaten. This isn't some kit that I dolled together to make a YouTube video. I actually went out and got this, and then I knew there was some things that I had been, if I haven't been on a road trip for a while, you know, you start robbing stuff out of there. So I had to go, this hammer here, I love it, and I take it in, you know, I try and keep it in my normal daily driver. I use it for so many things that that always usually comes with the zip ties. Usually they work their way out of there. The razor blades, they usually will sneak out once in a while, and usually some of the screwdrivers go missing. But anyhow, as you can see here, I got a little bit of electrical stuff, hodgepodge of different bulbs for different vehicles, and wires, pigtails, spare wires. I got a variety pack of ends. Anytime that I get a pack of ends, it's like a 5-pack and I only need one. The rest of them go in here. Yeah, so anyhow, I challenge anybody going to No Name Nationals to show me your roadside kit. And I'll remind you, I'm not a racer. I'm not a professional racer. I drove truck over the road, and I go on a pretty long road trip every summer. So, and I'm a mechanic at work. So this is kind of what I would feel the most comfortable with. If you have any recommendations, things that you think I should have in here, obviously I have too many adjustable wrenches. Comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm thinking for once I hit 500 subscribers and stay at 500. So sometimes you go up like a couple and then it comes back down. But once I go at 500 and it stays 500, I think I'm going to give away. This is a vice grip that I carry with me every day. I got the idea from a farmer well over 10 years ago, and seemed like a good idea. I use this thing almost every single day. I'm almost to 500 subscribers, and I think when I hit 500 subscribers and stay there, as long as it stays there, if it goes back down, we'll have to wait till it goes back up and stays. I think I'm going to give away a brand new leather pouch and a brand new mini vice grip to whoever. When I hit 500 subscribers, I'll make a video thanking everyone, and whoever enters in the comments of that video, all those people will be entered, and I'll draw one at random. Obviously, it's if it's illegal where you're at, or you're outside of the United States, then you won't be qualified. If you're under 18, you'll have to have a parent contact me to win it. There's no cash value. I'm going to go to Napa. I'm going to buy you a pouch and a vice grip and throw it in the mail. Anyhow, everyone, thank you for your time.